911 operators of Reddit, what were the most creative ways that people asked for help when they couldn't explicitly say it? I've managed to question a caller by using my console to display the keys they pressed because they couldn't talk because they were afraid they'd be heard, i.e., if you're upstairs, press 1. Is anyone else home? 1 for yes, 0 for no. Worked out pretty well. Another time I had someone talk to me as if I were their mother and had to work responses into the conversation. I did my best to help feed them lines to keep it going undiscovered. I worked 911 up until a few months ago. I received a call from someone who asked me how I was doing and I originally thought it was a prank, but then I asked if there was an emergency. She quickly said yes. So I had to ask questions in a way that she could answer as if she was talking on the phone to one of her friends. The hardest part was getting a description of the subject in the house and her address. She ended up saying something along the lines of, "Silly, don't you remember I live at 1234 2nd Street, not 1st Avenue." Ended up being a domestic and she was pretty beat up, but thankfully she got help that night. Obviously not a 911 operator, but how an operator understood my creative way of asking for help. When I was about 14, I had one of those slide phones. This was around 2008. My brother was having an angry fit and he broke a window. My dad, who was abusive, came into the kitchen and found the broken glass. He flipped. My dad was yelling and screaming, then he started beating my brother with his fists. I called 911 and I was sobbing and he came over and slid my phone off, disconnecting the call. Edit, as I said in a comment, I don't think he knew it was the 911. He just turned his head and saw me on my phone crying. I was terrified. There was my dad, now next to me, breathing heavily. It was so silent. I was terrified. He walks away to go bathroom. My brother's on the floor in front of me. My cell phone vibrates. The police called back. I know my dad wouldn't be long and I was right. He came back just as the lady on the phone asked if everything was okay, saying that there was a disconnect from this number. I pretended they, the operator, were a friend looking for our mutual friend's house or something. I don't remember. I told them that they had the wrong address. I said it was 121, street name, they were looking for, not my address, 122, same street name. The lady seemed confused for a moment, because there was a pause, then asked if I needed help. I said, yes. It's just across the street from 121 street. Can't miss it. NP Alyssa. I'll see you at school tomorrow. Then hung up. The police arrived 5 minutes later, 2 cars, 4 police. My dad tried to play it off but the police came in and took us outside to talk because my dad was looming over us. Me. 911. What's your emergency? Them. Hi, mom. How are you? Me. Are you in direct danger? Them. Yeah, but I'm doing alright, mom. How are you? Me. Can you verify that your address is the one that popped up on my screen? Them. Yeah, that sounds good. Looking forward to dad visiting soon. Wish you could make it out here, too. At this point I'm sending everything I can to their location. Police, fire, EMS, me. Help is on the way, mom. I want you to stay on the phone with me until they get there. Them. I'll try, but don't know if I can, mom. Might not be able to afford it. Me. I understand. Stay with me as long as you can. We talked for about 30 seconds more before the police got to her location. Someone's crazy ex showed up at their place of work with a gun, demanding to see said ex. This woman at the front desk had the wits and calm to fake phone call to her mom while talking to me, the 911 operator. When the police got there, he saw them pull up, walked out and peacefully surrendered. I will remember that call and how calm and brave that woman was for the rest of my life. Edited to @ this was years before everyone and their pet had a cell phone. Not my story, but it was a 911 hang up. On call back the person answered, Domino's Pizza, how can I help you? The dispatcher then asked, you called 911. Did you have an emergency? The person says, yes, we have specials today. The dispatcher's a little skeptical and thinks that the business might have called an accident, which does happen. The dispatcher goes to ask if they are being robbed. The store clerk says that's right, we have a 2 pizza special going right now. The dispatcher enters the call but continues to answer questions while the police are driving. Now in a situation like this you're going to ask yes or no questions as it directs them to a very clear response on the other end. We have to ask for the race clothing description so we know we're looking for. The Domino's employee says yes, we can put black olives on both pizzas. The dispatcher then goes to ask what color shirt and pants the first one is wearing. The employee says for the first pizza you want both halves completely with black olives? The employee then says and on the second pizza you want black olives and blue cheese. The dispatcher then goes to ask about the weapon, if it's a gun or knife. The employee said first one. Dispatcher then asks how many of them have weapons. Employee says only the first pizza. The dispatcher then asked if they arrived in car or on foot. Employee says that special is for carry out only. I'm sure there are quite a few details missing, but I heard that story years and years ago from a fellow co-worker who is now retired. 911 operator here. I had a caller who I could tell was in distress from her breathing. As I kept talking she kept shushing me. I asked if she could tap on her phone once for yes and twice for no. As I asked her yes and no questions I was able to use the GPS on her phone to get a location and decipher that someone was in her house and she was hiding. Police arrived on scene and it was her ex who had a gun and was looking for her. 9 years, and that was one of the most craziest calls. Those stick with you. There is no 100%. The best would be to text someone and have them call us, but that isn't always possible either. Sometimes dialing and just lay the phone down so we can hear, then try to say what's going on. Why are you hitting me? Why do you want to kill me? Trust me, we listen to an open line like it's an FBI wiretap. If it's a landline, we will get an address. If it's a cell phone you are at the mercy of how well your cell phone provider pinpoints your GPS location. Cell phones with no active service and only call 911 are less accurate than one with service. If at all possible try to give hints to your location. Tal said it would be better when we move to ABC Street. Call the other pair owned by name. Pull the mad mama first middle last thing. Sometimes we are familiar with the person and know where to look. Anything at all helps. While we are listening we are doing searches on anything we hear that is identifiable. Have officers driving the general location at ping 2. We try our very best to find you. I'm not a 911 operator, but I did make a call like this and the operator responded very well. I'll do my best to remember exactly what happened, but my wording is paraphrased at best. I currently work in the city parks near a high traffic bar street. One Saturday morning at 6 AM, a drunk patron walked over to me and started hitting on me really aggressively. He backed me into my booth and started grabbing me to kiss me. I froze and couldn't escape. We have park cell phones that can contact the other workers at other lakes, so I managed to text my co-worker, call 911 to my lake, immediately. She called 911 and they called me. But I couldn't talk clearly because I didn't want to alarm the guy. I told him it was my co-worker at the other lake and that she couldn't unlock a chain. Here's the rough conversation. 911, we received a message that you needed help. Did you need help? Me, yep. That sounds about right. 911, what's going on? Me, I'm not sure. Were you able to unlock it? 911, can you tell us anything? Me, no, not at all. There aren't any boats on the lake yet. 911, is there someone there preventing you from talking? Me, for sure. I wish there wasn't. 911, are you in danger? Me, I can't really tell, but the sunrise is beautiful. Wish you could come see what I'm seeing. 911, okay, we are sending help now. Please stay on the line. I started talking to the man like my co-worker needed help while I held the phone in my hand. Within minutes, several police cars arrived and grabbed the man and pinned him to the ground and cuffed him. He looked me dead in the eyes and said, I can't believe you called the freaking cops. He had a knife on him. I'm so glad that 911 operator didn't hang up on me because I answered her questions so weird. But she did an awesome job, as did my coworker and the police. Also, the police let me sit in the front seat and they let me goof around with the spotlight and they bickered jokingly with each other, which made me laugh. They were pretty awesome overall. If you liked this video, then you might like the videos on screen now.